Hi guys, I haven't done an actual video like this for a while. I need to be more proactive with doing these videos because I have a lot I need to say. So a few years ago I started a journey of healing, and there was a certain catalyst, and I started looking through my entire life and thinking, where have I lost myself? Where have I become more about my mental health than anything else? And I started doing therapy, and I only did it for about 2 years, maybe even a year and a half. But what I gained from it was, it was so valuable. It's unbelievable. In that process, I realised that I was taking on the accountability quite a lot for things that have happened that other people have done to me. And I think it's good when you're reflecting on a situation, once you've calmed down, it's good to actually think about what your participation in that disagreement or whatever is. And basically in doing that, in therapy I actually learned about the inner child and how that affects today, how that affects how you're developing and how you're moving on. And this was like quite a major thing for me, because sometimes I feel like I can be too unfair or I'm being too harsh on people. So I like to pull myself back in a calmer moment and really think to myself, were you the catalyst? Were you the one who started this situation? And when reflecting on certain things, especially in my childhood, I think to myself, if that was fair, then if I imagine myself doing that to my own children, how do I feel about that? And in most cases, it makes my eyes water. That's kind of like a litmus paper. And it helps you to navigate what is correct and what is incorrect. If you know someone who's vulnerable or who you would never think of hurting, imagine doing the things that happen to you to them and how that would make you feel. And that's a really, really good way of navigating your way around blaming yourself for things that have happened in the past. This can help with rape trauma. This can help with abuse of any sort, any neglect or bullying or anything like that. And just reflect it onto someone else in your mind and see how that makes you feel. If it makes you feel bad, then it means that someone's done something bad to you. Yeah. And I think this is such an important thing to remember, because it's almost like a compass. It brings you back to north. It brings you back to where you need to go, where you need to improve yourself, and what you need to do to arm yourself against getting hurt repeatedly in the same ways. Quite often, I'm 42 years old, and quite often it does make you isolate yourself. So you have very few friends, and the friends you have may or may not be very, very good friends. And it's coming to that realization that you cannot make other people fit the criteria that you need. You can't do that. That's impossible. It shouldn't be done. But at the same time, they have to understand your needs. If you're the person who's constantly giving and you're feeling drained, that means your friendship or relationship is not good for you. So to go a little bit back to where I was at the last few days, I've been feeling very, very low. I've been having a very disturbed sleep. My bowel has been terrible. And all of these things, because you store all your stress, all your cortisol, and all that, it triggers in your stomach. That's why people have a lot of digestive problems. I've suffered from IBS. I have for many years now, and it is crippling. It can be really painful. It can be really inconvenient, and you can flip from being loose to, you know, being constipated. So there's so much to think about, and this is why we want to try and eliminate having stress in our lives, because the cortisol has an effect on your body, has an effect on your brain, has effect on your emotions, because it's a stress hormone, and it's how you cope with things, and you should not put yourself through that on your own. So get therapy, get someone to help you, talk to a friend, talk to a relative, let them know. Now, in my situation, most of the people I've turned around to have sort of looked at me as if to say, well, you're not exactly blameless. No, I'm not. I've done many terrible things, but I recognise that. I face that. I look at it and examine it in every different direction. So when someone brings something back to me that I knew about, I 9 times out of 10 would have looked at that situation and tried to improve it. That's the difference, is that sometimes having that moment of reflection, having that moment of understanding what the situation is, who you are, what you give to the situation, and what you take from the situation. It doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't matter if it's romantic, a romantic relationship, a familial relationship. It does not matter. At the end of the day, you have to be getting something good from a situation. And sometimes you're going to have bad. It doesn't mean... This is the other thing I want to say about BPD and black and white thinking, is that sometimes, in fact all the time, you can't imagine a good person has bad traits. So once you notice a bad trait in someone, it feels like everything about them is bad. That's another thing I really, really hate about BPD. But I just want to let people know as well, my profile is not just about BPD, it's also about PTSD, it's also about OCD, it's about general depression and anxiety, it's about estrangement, it's about looking back into your past, understanding what you've been through and what your body is telling you, because I think that most of the answers you look for outside are actually right inside of you. That could actually help you resolve so much stuff. So anyway, I hope you have a lovely day. I know this has been a really long video, but love you all.